What's up, everyone? Shane here with ROA Off-Road.
And Vaughan from MDC.
Yeah, you're back out to the US again. We were just together not too long ago.
I know. We love it. That's why we keep coming back.
I know. It's been fun. I'm super happy you came. You actually came out to Utah. You're staying at my place. We decided that we should go out and do some off-road testing, and we thought since we had you here, we wanted to do some interviews, and we sent out a thing on the internet, asked people if you had an opportunity to ask questions, the owner, founder of MDC, what would it be? So you ready for some questions?
Yeah, let's do it.
And we're going to do some testing after this too, right?
Awesome. You know, one thing that surprises me is Josh has let me borrow his truck again after the last trip. How cool.
Yeah, you should see what he did last time. He was shooting rocks at my face. Do you remember that?
Yeah, it wasn't intentional, but you know.
You know.
Sometimes things happen.
Sometimes I deserve it, so I think it's just karma. Anyway, we had a bunch of questions come in. We sent out stuff to people. So one of the questions that we got from somebody was floor plans, and they were asking if there's any plans to release more floor plans. How many do you got in Australia?
In Australia at the moment, our floor plans, we're at around 21, 22.
Okay.
And so naturally what happens with our company is we develop a product in Australia, see how it goes in the market, then we'll talk to companies like yourself and say, hey, will this work in the US? And if so, what do you think we need to do? Is there anything we need to change, that the US market will expect that we don't normally use in Australia, and vice versa?
Yeah.
So in the next couple of weeks, we're releasing a new range. It's called SR, Sealed Road, and that's something that MDC hasn't done before. So typically we've always been serious off-road. No matter where you can tow your van, it'll get you back home, full off-road stuff. But now we're moving into the on-road market. So what does that mean? It means the same sort of quality, finish, accessories, floor plans, but in a lighter design that's typically going to come in at a pointier price point.
Yeah, a little bit lower of a price point, because obviously the off-road, you're really going in for overbuilt, robust, lots of solar, lots of battery. And on road, if you're going to a campground plugging in, you don't need
exactly
huge solar array, huge inverters. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, you were talking about that, and that would be pretty exciting to see all that stuff getting released in Australia. Nothing like that's going to come to the US anytime soon, though.
No, I think that's sort of in a year's time.
Yeah, we got about 5 floor plans right now in the US. Any other off-road floor plans that you guys are thinking?
Yeah, I think the US market always bigger is better.
Yeah.
And so anything that comes along in the future in the off-road segment is going to be larger. So, 19s, 21s possibly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because 17 right now is about the biggest one we have, the 17 family, but we got the 16 Island, 16 East-West, so potentially a 19, you're saying?
Yeah, we've got a 19 in Australia that's proved very popular. When we transform from the Australian market into the US market, there's a lot of things that have to change. So obviously we drive on the other side of the road, so we've got to reverse the floor plan. Standards in regards to propane, electrical, we run off 240 volt, you guys run off 110. So there's a lot of work in actually converting from an Australian model to a US model. But the crux of the unit itself, the way it's built, is basically identical.
Yeah, so one of the other questions that a bunch of people were asking is, why don't you guys use diesel versus propane?
Yeah, so in Australia, diesel heater, fully compliant in all our states, and all our models in Australia have diesel heaters as standard, which are very easy to fit, very fuel efficient. But in the US, the standards are different, and we can't actually use a diesel heater here in the US. If we could, we'd have it on every model standard. So we use a propane heater from Dometic.
That's been something quite astonishing to me, actually, about your engineers and your main guy overall, your manufacturing and compliance. You guys, you're very much about making sure everything is in compliant with the standards. Because I've seen some of these small mom and pop places put in diesel heaters, and you're saying no, that's not compliant, so you're going to make sure you're following the guidelines for compliances, which is really cool.
Yeah, well, absolutely. At the end of the day, we're a manufacturer, and so we need to give our dealers a compliant product to make sure that there's no recall on yourselves or on us. So we want to do the right thing right from the start.
Yeah, that's been very cool. I've noticed that, and it seems like such an obvious thing, but You know, you don't always see it in the RV industry in the US. So the fact that you guys have come out and just made sure everything is done right is really, really important.
Yeah, so in Australia, if you do something that's not compliant, they could do a recall on several thousand units, and where it'd have to come back to us, and we'd either have to rectify that particular problem or refund the customer. So I guess that's in our DNA, that we have to do everything correctly right from day dot.
Yeah, that makes sense. Your guys' attention to quality, you want to talk about like your evolution and from when you started to now, like has that always been something, or is it something that has just changed over time?
I guess with any business that's starting from scratch, the product is always evolving. And so we would always listen to the feedback of our customers and our team. We would go out on trips with our customers, and obviously you've got feedback through social media where people will say, hey, this is working or this isn't working, or customer mods. Sometimes it's the customers that come up with modifications. You go, you know what, that's awesome. We need to put that into next year's product. And we'll talk to the customer and say, hey, really love your mod. Do you mind if we actually commercialize that? And like the MDC customers are great, and they just go, yeah, go for it. We will tell everyone that it was someone's mod and that we're adopting it in next year's model, and you know, they just love it.
That's very cool. That's very, very cool. And this is something that I've mentioned over and over in some of the videos, that you're not going to get that experience unless you go out and camp with the customers. I think that's pretty important. And as the business has grown, how do you get time to do those things?
Yeah, well, we've talked about that in the videos that we did just previously. You know, it's all about the team and having the right people in your business so you can go out and do these fun things.
Yeah.
And, you know, when it comes to customers around a campfire, after a few beverages, they've got no problem actually telling you what's wrong with your product or what you can do better. Absolutely no problem at all.
That's good. You got some thick skin to take it too.
Well, you have to, Shane. Like, you know, some of the videos you do and some of the comments that people put up there, I guess there's trolls, hey, but you know, you got a thick skin. We do this for a living, so it is what it is, I guess.
Yeah, for sure.
We're out here having fun, and those guys are just jealous, I guess.
Maybe that's what it is, just jealous. I like it. It's a skill though, because I sometimes will get a little bit like, you know, it's my baby, or like I work really hard to understand and use. And so I do put a lot of love and passion into anything that I'm like selling. Maybe not through building it, but a different way, the learning and the understanding. And I'm on a Skype chat with your chief technical officer, and I'm asking him tons of questions, like reading up, understanding, and realizing the amount of work you guys put into making a good quality product. And so sometimes when people say, oh no, those are cheap, and I'm like, I get a little offended. And I didn't even build it. I can't imagine how you feel, but you also want to know what's good and what's not good. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess with any business that you start from scratch and someone makes a bad comment, it's like stabbing you in the heart. And you have, you know, a team underneath you. Like, we're both family businesses, right? And so everyone's passionate about what we do. We're not huge multinational companies that thousands of people that don't care. It's, you know, everything we do on a day-to-day basis is for our team and for our customers.
Yeah, absolutely. I was saying to Cynthia yesterday, my wife, when we were coming back from dinner, I want to sell a great product, and I love the experience of like selling to the customer, because it's really fun to get them into something that they're excited about. It's a dream for a lot of people. But I also like, to me, that's 50% of the business. The other 50% is like my team, making them happy. And I believe like when you make them happy, they in turn make the customer happy. When you care deeply about your team, they care deeply about the customer and their experience and the product. That's something that I've noticed with your team. I can tell that they're all sold and bought into you, to the company. At least when I talk to them, I can tell that they're all very passionate. And my team and your team, it seems like they're meshing really well. They're always just talking about how everybody's on top of things, and it seems like they love what they do, which is, I think, really important.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what I really like about the ROA guys, I sent you a message 2 weeks ago and say, hey, come to the US, do you mind if Anya and I like drop by and say hello? And then all of a sudden you're like, yep, cool. Come to the office, and we get there, and later that afternoon, you know, you had a customer picking up the first MDC 49 Plus with Steve and Crystal.
Yeah.
And they're towing that behind a FJ Cruiser, I believe.
Yeah, Toyota. Yeah.
Yeah, Toyota. And they're going to hit some mad tracks around here, which is really cool. And they were really excited, and you know, they had on their list specific things that they needed, and the Fortnite Plus just hit every one.
Oh, yeah.
And it was an easy decision for those guys, and it was great for us. Like, it was such a surprise. Like, I didn't even know this was happening, right? And here they are, they rock up, there's Hando, and I'm like, g'day, it's Vaughan from MDC. And you know, they had to actually watch the videos that we'd done with ROA, and they were really excited.
Yeah.
And I thought that was pretty cool. That was a really good little surprise from you guys, so thank you for that.
Oh yeah, we told him the owner from Australia is flying out just to meet you during your handover, and so they were super excited and honored. But you know, we just made it kind of fun. But it was cool. Yeah, they said they were gonna hardly ever be on the pavement. They wanted something they could stand in, something that was light, that they could tow with a Toyota, but also they wanted it to be really off-grid capable, you know, with over 500 watts of solar, and they wanted an outside kitchen, no inside kitchen. So it was really fun because it was just fun to see that it checked every single box, and they were just so excited. They're going to come down on some adventures with us. They said that they might come down to the rally. Maybe you guys will come, but I don't know. You're coming out here a lot. That might be too many back to back to back.
Oh no, I think we can handle it.
There you go.
If you organise those dates around school holidays in Australia, yeah, we'll be here.
Oh, there you go. There you go. We'll do it. We'll figure it out. So as you can see, we're in front of a cave. We got some rocks falling here and there. So we're gonna get out of this place and get somewhere else and do a bit of off-road testing. So stay tuned for that. But thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
Awesome.
Let's go. Today we're gonna do a competition. I got an XT 17 family.
We've got the MDC XL 15-4.
So which one do you think will ride better? I just hit a boulder.
I don't know if he'll make it, dude.
Oh, dude. Oh. Oh my gosh, that was out of control.